Hi guys, welcome to Wrestling Retrospective, and in this video I will be reviewing WWE's Clash of the Castle 2022. So to kick off the show, we had Damage Control defeat Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss and Asuka. Now I thought this one had a really slow start, but throughout the match the crowd were constantly cheering for Bayley, which I know that I'm not sure that she didn't like it, it's just that it didn't fit her character of being a heel. She kept telling people to shush, but they just kept cheering her on over and over and over again, which I really enjoyed, to be fair. The match itself, I found it very meh. I didn't find it particularly good, but it wasn't a terrible match either. I thought it would be a lot better. The finish itself I thought was good, having Bayley pin Bianca Belair, setting up a future women's championship match at some point, maybe at Extreme Rules, which I like, and hopefully I'm kind of hoping that Bayley gets the win on that one. I think that she would do a lot more with the belt. I feel like Belair's championship reign has been quite repetitive to the SmackDown Women's Championship run she had last year. I'm kind of getting a bit bored of it, so I think Bayley will bring something new to the championship. As for Alexa Bliss and Asuka, I'm really not invested in them. I mean, there are rumours that Alexa Bliss has got a new character in the works. I'm hoping it's maybe not something spooky, but something worth getting invested in. As for Asuka, her gimmick is, I'm kind of getting bored of that as well. I kind of don't see a reason to be invested in these superstars as much as Bianca Belair and Damage Control, especially on Raw, as it seems to be surrounding around these 6 women at the minute, as well as the newly crowned Women's Tag Team Champions. But yeah, I thought the match itself wasn't great, wasn't terrible either, don't get me wrong. It was alright, but it was just an alright match. Then yeah, there's not much more to say about that. Then yeah, it was alright. Following that, we had Gunther defeat Sheamus to retain the Intercontinental Championship. I thought this was a really hard-hitting match, as I expected. Both very much over us. Were very over in the UK. The match itself, it was very close to getting match of the night, but a match later on took that for me. Very happy to see Imperium back together. Giovanni Vinci joining Ludwig Kaiser in the intro to Gunther's entrance, which I'm very happy about. I was a big fan of Imperium, so I'm glad that they're back together and on the main roster. Sheamus's chest by the end of this match was fucked. I cannot believe how bad it looked. I'm not surprised, as Walter's known for his chops, but just the white skin turning red and then he just getting blistered and it getting worse and worse. And I thought that was going to be the worst of the weekend, but when we get to the All Out review and we get to Eddie Kingston Ishii, man, it was a chop fest. But yeah, this one, I felt so sorry for Sheamus just because of just his chest alone. Every slap, just you could feel it through the screen. Speaking of Sheamus, very unfortunate for him not to win this one. I honestly thought he was going to get the win and get his Grand Slam championship in this one, but unfortunately not. He put in a great match against Gunther, and I hope they meet again soon. As for Gunther, I'm really happy that he's bringing prestige back to the Intercontinental Championship. It's needed it for a long time, and having matches like that, same for Bobby Lashley with the US Championship. I'm looking forward to see where these mid-card titles go in the future, and the fact that they're bringing prestige to them is fantastic and something that I know that people were asking for when Triple H took over. Yep, match really good, nearly match of the night but not quite, but genuinely enjoyed it. Next up, we had Liv Morgan defeating Shayna Baszler to retain the SmackDown Women's Championship. I thought this was a pretty good match. I thought it was the best title defense that Liv has had during her reign. I know it's not been very long, but the match against Ronda Rousey last month was rubbish, but this one I was very happy with. As far as Liv Morgan goes, clearly her training with Riddle has paid off, and I'm glad that it wasn't like a reverse of Shayna Baszler's submission that got the win for her, but she legitimately got it with her own finisher, stuff like that. Again, unfortunate for Shayna Baszler. It wouldn't have surprised me if they actually put the title on her. I feel like a Shayna Baszler Ronda Rousey storyline would be a lot better than Liv and Ronda Rousey, or anything with Ronda Rousey. I hate Ronda Rousey, I'm not gonna lie to you. But yes, I think Ronda Rousey will be next for Liv Morgan, whether that's at Extreme Rules or possibly at Survivor Series, I'm not sure. It doesn't seem like we're going for brand supremacy at Survivor Series this year, which I know a lot of people will be happy about. Personally, I kind of like the brand supremacy stuff, but if it's going to mean better matches at Survivor Series for championships and stuff like that, then I don't mind. But honestly, though Liv got a good win, and it was a clean win, used her own moves, and she had a decent match, I still do not see Liv Morgan as a viable champion. I think it's better to possibly have a kind of lose the championship, have a build up again, and do this a lot better a second time round. But yeah, I thought the match was alright, very good for Liv Morgan, but overall still not very happy with her as champion, kind of losing more interest in Liv as champion as the months and months go by. I'm kind of hoping that she loses it soon so she can go back. She might be in a situation where Liv is a better chaser than, you know, having the championship, which some people are. Hangman's a good example of that, and I can't think of any more off the top of my head apart from Hangman and Paige. But yeah, match itself good, hoping for a more viable champion in the future. And next up we had Edge and Rey Mysterio defeating the Judgment Day. I really had no interest in this match at all. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't paying lots of attention to it. They were kind of, I did watch most of it. I'm not just going to sit on my phone and, you know, while I have a YouTube channel that I do a review on. But I found myself getting very distracted by other things during the match. I noticed that they were doing like classic, almost cliche Rey Mysterio moves, like sliding under the ropes, doing the whole tall to smaller man thing. It just seemed like a very basic Rey Mysterio tag team match. Yeah, again, not much interest. Very cliche match for Edge and Mysterio and the Judgment Day. All of the interest went into the end of the match, where I honestly cheered and jumped out of my seat cheering when Dominic Mysterio turned on Edge and then took out Rey Mysterio as well. This has been a long time coming, and I feel like this should have happened months ago, but it didn't. But I'm very happy now it has. I'm hoping that Dominic does go up. Well, who am I kidding? So Dominic has joined the Judgment Day. It was on Raw last night, and yeah, it looks like, I mean, Rio was talking for him. I feel like that's the best way to do it, is kind of their bitch, which makes sense, I guess, in a way. I'm not sure if many people will like it that way, but I definitely like the character change for Dominic Mysterio. He's definitely needed something other than being Rey's dad, and that's it. And yeah, I'm really happy to see that happen, and I'm interested. I was hoping anyway, that the Judgment Day and the Mysterios might separate after this. Clearly they're not, with Dominic turning on them. But if it's going to lead to a match between Dominic and Rey Mysterio, then that might be worth getting invested for, providing Dominic gets the win, because Dominic needs the win more than Rey. But yeah, so the match itself was alright. Wasn't terrible, wasn't great either. But all the action came after the match with the turn. Very happy with the turn. The match was okay. Following that, we had Seth Rollins defeat Matt Riddle in what was, in my opinion, match of the night. I thought just technically, smooth transitions, everything like that. It had everything. It had the kind of intense rivalry behind it. Technically, both were fantastic. Though I know that there is kind of beef between them in real life. They do have really good chemistry. And yeah, I just thought it was awesome. I think that not putting this match on SummerSlam was a good idea, thinking that it's led to what it has done. Seth Rollins commenting on Riddle's divorce and family, and that I thought was a really good way to add intrigue, and it definitely got me invested in it. And yeah, I just thought it was a fantastic match. The stomp at the end, but also having Riddle lose the match means that they can now go and have a second match, possibly at Extreme Rules, with a stipulation involved. Maybe put them in a cage, say that they can't be contained in the arena. They can't be contained anywhere, so we're going to put them in a cage. That kind of story, like, we've seen it many times before. So, but yeah, I think just the match is so fantastic. But one stat that came out after the match was the fact that this is Seth Rollins' first pinfall victory in 15 months on pay-per-view, which is ridiculous. But also very unselfish from Rollins himself. I know that he doesn't make the booking, but you know what I mean. He's putting other people over constantly, which is fantastic. We saw it with Cody, we've seen it with Riddle. We saw it with Roman when, you made Roman look good in defeat, which is technically the only blemish on his record in the last 2 years. So yeah, I think it's just fun. It shows how Seth Rollins is so good as a character in the WWE and how important he is. I'm proving that he doesn't really need a championship, though I know a lot of people want him to have a world championship. And I think a world championship match is definitely in his future. I think like Reigns and him have unfinished business, obviously with the disqualification finish at the Royal Rumble. As for Riddle, I can see another match coming with Rollins, and then probably Orton coming back, and maybe going back for the tag team championships. Maybe we have a turn from him or Orton and they go in a match together. But either way, whatever he does is going to be good. And thank fuck he's got his first name back. Very happy about that. And hopefully, as we've seen, Austin Theory has got his first name back. Riddle, and even Tommaso Ciampa got his first name back on Raw this week, which I'm very happy about. But yeah, as I said, match of the night here. Fantastic match from both of them. Can't wait to see the next one. And finally, in your main event, we have Roman Reigns defeat Drew McIntyre to retain the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. I think this match had the most intrigue going into it. Definitely on my part it did. I had no idea who was going to get the win. I thought they weren't going to end Roman's reign. And I was right, and I'm happy I'm right as well. I don't think Drew was a viable challenger. Well, he is a viable champion, I just couldn't see him winning. Like, at the time, I don't think it was him to defeat Roman. And then the match was very good, and at points, I honestly thought Drew was going to get it. And again, I'm not completely against Drew being champion, it just didn't make sense momentum-wise for him to win the match over Roman. But yeah, we saw all kinds of returns. We saw Broken Dreams play for Drew McIntyre, which I know a lot of people were excited about. I cheered out loud when it happened. It's an absolutely banging tune. But also we saw the debut of Solo Sikoa, which I was very surprised about. I didn't expect that to happen. Obviously Usos suspicious by their absence. I thought they were going to get involved out of nowhere at some point. Heyman's clearly still recovering from the F5 at SummerSlam, which he's selling fantastically, by the way. But yeah, I was surprised to see Solo Sikoa. But it makes perfect sense. He's an Uso, technically. Well, he is an Uso, he's their brother. But yeah, I don't know whether it's going to be a consistent stay for Solo Sikoa on the main roster, so we'll find out on Friday on SmackDown. I can imagine it will be. I think he's done all he can do in NXT without winning the championship. Similar thing with Santos Escobar at the minute. But yeah, I was really happy with the match. Very intrigued by it all. And then throughout the match, I was on the edge of my seat. I thought that Drew hitting the spear and the Claymore, I thought he got him, but he didn't. Obviously, Austin Theory tried to cash in Money in the Bank, but Tyson Fury knocked him out. I thought that was interesting, but I don't feel like it was needed. I think it was just a cheap way to get Tyson Fury involved. And speaking of Tyson Fury, him coming into the ring and singing at the end of it made no sense to me at all. I don't keep up with boxing. I don't know whether he does that a lot or something. I have absolutely no idea. Maybe you can let me know in the comments. But yeah, it just didn't make any sense to me. I felt like it should have gone. The program should have stopped. Then all that happens off the live crowd. I know it was kind of like making it a feel-good moment for Drew in defeat. But honestly, I had no interest in it at all. But if anything, it just felt very, very out of place. But yeah, I said the match itself. It was very good. Enjoyed it. Edge on my seat throughout. I'm saying a lot of the same things as at the start. But yeah, as I said, I enjoyed it. Where Roman goes next, I have no idea. I think Roman's going to take a bit of time off after this. I can't see him being at Extreme Rules. And they seem to be setting up Karrion Kross versus Drew McIntyre for Extreme Rules. I'd like that to have some kind of stipulation. And honestly, I'd like, again, very biased, but I would like Kross to get the win just to make him have a bit more seriousness. I know a lot of people haven't been taking him seriously on Raw, and I want that to change as a big fan of his. But yeah, as I said, good main event. Edge and receipt throughout, but the right guy won, and Roman's reign continues. So that was my review of WWE's Clash at the Castle 2022. Match of the night was Seth Rollins versus Matt Riddle, in my opinion. What was match of the night in your opinion? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you thought of the whole show in the comments. And even leave me some feedback. I'm very open to feedback, how to make these videos better for you guys. So yeah, comment all that below. And as always, subscribe, put the notification bell on. And do you like the video? and I will see you guys in the next video, which will be the All Out review, which will be coming out a little bit after this one. As for now, I will see you guys later.